You know why I'm so excited about this class today? Other than the fact it's just nice to schmooze. Because I said this last class, which was, we read in Mesilas Yesharim, the introduction, the Ramchal writes, is not, and this is the Ramchal in Mesilat Yesharim, right? Which is, if he's saying this about the path of the just, right, then all the more so, which was, nothing I'm telling you is something new, right? It's but the more we review it and the more we discuss it, then it really integrates into a person. So what we're discussing today, so a lot of it's based off of Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which I don't like the title. I think it's a very silly title. However, it has great, these are just basic skills that are so helpful in all relationships and all the more so in marriage, which, ladies, the secret of life is this, okay? And I mean this. And on my first date with my husband, I told him I have emotional issues, but I told him I don't think I'll ever get married. I had like a fear of marriage. Our first date, yeah, he stuck it out. He stuck it out. I know, because I wanted to be responsible, do my hishtadlus, like put in my effort and say, God, I want to get married, but like I doubt that, like, I just can't imagine finding someone, and then he stuck it out. But that's why I said that, because before I got married, I was like, oh, all these like married people, whatever. You just see marriages, especially when you're single. You just like analyze, you see. And I was like, I don't want to get married. Just everywhere you look, that more people than not are going to get divorced. Do you know that? There's a state in a province in Canada that for 2 years after you're married, you cannot change your last name because it's caused such bureaucratic issues of changing and unchanging again because so many people are getting divorced. The secret of life that I'm going to tell you is, if you want, these are for people who believe in marriage. If you don't, that's fine also. But for those of you who believe in marriage, if you want a happy life, you need to have a happy marriage, a happy relationship. That is the secret of life. You see people, I see it with my friends, I see it with all over the world, and as you do, people who have successful marriages go on to be successful people. You can have all the money in the world, and if you come home and it's a broken home, you're a broken person. It just goes hand in hand. That's what it means to be a soulmate. You are connected to each other. So if you're not treating each other properly, you feel that on the other end. So all the more so we're discussing here, why am I teaching this? Like it's not this like beautiful Torah class, because it says derech eretz kadma leTorah, which means derech eretz, proper, literally translated as derech, right, the path, eretz, of the land, right, which means manners and how to talk to people. That comes before Torah. It's a prerequisite to Torah. Anytime I see like an Orthodox Jew like littering or something, I always like take a double look, like what? What do you do? My daughter, I have to share a sweet story. We're at the park on Chag, and someone threw a bag of chips on the floor. My daughter looked at me, she's 3.5, and she said, hey, Mommy, we don't litter. That's not derech eretz. And she went, and she got the bag, and then she put it in the garbage. She saw other trash in the park, and she was chasing this other plastic bag around the park. She's like, I know, she's so sweet. So that comes before Torah. So what we're discussing here is, just when I was reading this, and as I practice this and use this in life, I'm like, just the whole world should know this, because it's just helpful. So last class I gave out this sheet, which was begin conversation in a friendly way. We started off the story with the sun and the wind fighting who's mightier. And the wind's like, I'm stronger. And the sun is like, I'm stronger. And then the wind said, you know how strong I am? You see that man wearing his coat? I can blow his coat off of him in a heartbeat. And he's blowing and blowing and blowing. And as the wind is blowing, the old man's holding his coat tighter, right? And then out comes the sun and dried up all the rain, and as it's getting hotter and hotter, the old man puts down his briefcase and takes off his coat, right? And warmth, genuinity, being interested in people. We said become genuinely interested in the other person. We spoke about that, so care about the other person who you're talking to. Don't condemn or criticize. We said kodem kol, before we start anything, you don't want to be criticizing people. Today we are discussing how to criticize people because it isn't necessary, and we do it. So being that we do it, we'll discuss how to do it. But you should not want to be criticizing people. And then we said be sympathetic. We spoke about Two-Gun Crowley, who was a killer in the 1930s. I think in the 30s. No, don't quote me on the air. He was a killer, and as he's having his final shootout with the cops from his girlfriend's apartment, and blood is falling from his forehead, he's writing, he says, to whom this may concern, beneath this coat is a heart, but a wary heart, one that will do no one any harm, right? And we quoted the other Al Capone. Al Capone, is he a movie? Is he an actor? No. No, he's the mobster, right? Okay, there's a movie called Al Capone based on Al Capone. So my friend was once in class, and her teacher asked a question on art, and she said, Leonardo DiCaprio. She's like, you mean Leonardo da Vinci? She's like, that one. So Al Capone, the mobster, he said, I had the quote, which was basically, for years I've been a hunted man. I've just been trying to give people the better years of their life, and all I've been is a hunted man, right? No one appreciates the beneficiary that I've done for other people. Everyone is right in their own eyes, right? We all believe we're right and we're correct, so be sympathetic. Okay, let's go on. Number 5 on the sheet for those who have it. Any question on what we just said? Okay. Praising improvements works better than criticizing. What do I mean? Praising improvements works better than criticizing. Yes, Nicole.
So, like, if someone is working on something, like trying to be more on time, and they show up late again, you don't have to be like, wow, you're late again. You can be like, oh wow, you came 10 minutes earlier than you usually would have, even though you're still late. Like just recognizing the accomplishments that people make rather than the things that they're still not good at. Like, you know.
Yeah. Why? Do we know why?
Because it's supportive. It makes them feel like their effort is being recognized.
Yeah, it's supportive, and also it gives people a reputation to live up to, which is something else that we're going to discuss. Praising improvements works better than criticizing. This is literally magic, and everything that we're saying obviously has to be sincere. I'm not teaching you quick, tricks on how to get people to like you. Obviously, they say, "Kamayim lepanim kain lev adam la'adam," which means like a water is the reflection of a person's face is in the water, so too is a person's heart a reflection of the other person. People smell from a mile away if you're not being genuine, okay? But praising improvements works better than criticism. This is magic. Let me give you a very easy example. When, let's say, my husband's a tzaddik. Theoretically, if he didn't help me with the dishes, okay? There's 2 ways to go about it. What do most people do? The coffee table. Who showed us the coffee table video?
Me.
You did? Okay, the coffee table video, which is complaint. So watch after class. It's very funny. Have you seen it? No. Okay, so which is basically just complaining. And how come you never help me with the dishes? Can you please just help me with the dishes? And they'll do it, right? Or other people say, you never help me with the dishes. You know, you really never help me with the dishes. What should you do? Find the time he's washing that one little fork. Okay, it could be a one little fork. Go up to him and just say, I really appreciate you washing the dishes. It just really means a lot to me, and I have a lot of work to do tonight, so it just takes a lot off my back. Thank you so much. That's it, right? Why? There's a rule of thumb in human psychology, which is attention is attention. We all want it. Some more, some less. So when children, this is now in context of children do not differentiate between attention, negative and positive, okay? So when my 2 daughters are fighting with each other, I feel like this comes up a lot in class. If you're watching this one day, I love you. So my 2 daughters are fighting with each other. So I'll tell you what I did in the beginning, which is what most parents do when you have a newborn baby at home, and the older daughter's trying to hurt the 2-week-old baby. Please don't hurt her. Stop hurting her. Stop hurting her. I still do that sometimes because I lose it and I'm human, right? But usually stop hurting her, right? What does her mind comprehend? Smack baby, mommy's love. Smack baby, mommy's attention. Smack baby, that's all they comprehend. That's all they comprehend. As opposed to, find that one time, either she's being nice to her, or she's just playing by herself, and I just go up to her, Chaviva, you're such a nice sister. Thank you so much. Or you know what else I do that's also magic? This has just been a recurring theme in our home with her. She means well. She's not trying to hurt her. She just plays very, passionately, okay? Which is when she hurts Ahava, when she hurts my younger daughter, what do? I run up to, let's act this out. Ellie, can you pretend to smack Sam? Sam, I'm so sorry. are you okay? You have a boo-boo? Oh, I'm so sorry, right? And the other one, right, exactly. And I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm so sorry, right? What does she comprehend? I'm telling you, this is magic. This is literally magic. What does she comprehend? She gets nothing. She loses out when she hits. Why? She's not getting any attention. When your husband, and also when complimenting people, what did I say? How do you phrase it? Yeah, praising improvements works better than criticism because, again, when you constantly tell, let's say, your husband to help you with the dishes, or give me any example. Would you like to use a different example? This one's working? So when you tell your husband, constantly tell him, please, you don't help me with the dishes, what goes on his mind? She doesn't expect me to do the dishes, right? You're giving him the reputation of you don't help me at home. As opposed to, I notice when you help me, right? Or if he's not helping, say, it's okay, I know you usually want to help, and I'm sure you're busy tonight. Why? That creates in his mind, oh, Avigial expects me to help. That gives, when you tell a child, it's really, you did that? I can't believe that. It's so not like you, right? As opposed to, I knew you do that. I know, why do you hurt her? Why do you do that, right? In her mind, mommy thinks that I hurt people, so she will match up to that. There's actually a fascinating study done. It wasn't a study, but it got confused between two teachers. There was what was the nice way they phrased it in school? The higher and lower class? Remedial and accelerated? I don't know. They always have these nice names for the higher and lower class. I could say because I was...
College prep and honors, AP.
Yeah. Okay, right, something fancy like that. Okay, whatever, something that I was always in the lower one, but it was because I didn't need that anyways. So I was always in the lower one. But there was one time there was a it was in elementary school, there was also a higher and lower class, and the teachers switched, by mistake, their attendances got switched, whatever. In the beginning of the year, they were given the wrong information. The one with the remedial class, the slower class, she was given the grades and was told this is the smarter class, and the one with the higher class was said this was the lower class. And what did they find? The whole year they taught like that. And what did they find?
They performed that level.
Yeah, they performed at that level. They both performed at that level. The higher class did whatever low sheets they were doing, and the lower class, they just totally rose to the occasion. You know the movie, I love this movie, Freedom Writers? No? You know it? I highly recommend it. Freedom Writers. I highly recommend it, and I don't recommend a lot of movies. It's a true story. That movie I recommend, I'm a teacher, so I like these kind of movies, and also Front of the Class are two very powerful movies, both true stories. But anyways, Freedom Writers, the teacher, it's a true story how a teacher went into an inner city and basically took these kids who were a bunch of, street kids and really brought them up. But I remember in the movie, the first day of class, she walked in, they were jumping on desks, this is high school, and she walked in, and after she finally got their attention, she said, I want you to know every single one of you has 100 right now. You all have 100. Your grade is 100 with me. And it's up to you whether you keep the 100 or you lower the 100. All of a sudden, wow, I have 100, right? I can do that. So it's amazing. I remember I had a bunch of, my daughter, we had some neighbor kids at our home once. And the kids were fighting over toys, which is what kids do, healthy kids. So the kids were fighting over the toys, and I didn't want them to fight, so I just brought out a chocolate chip, and I said to one of the kids, I said, do you want to do a mitzvah and share the toy? And she said, yeah, and I gave her a chocolate chip, and she shared the toy, and after she did, just sang this little song, Chaviva did a mitzvah. It was one of these songs, you did a mitzvah today. And all of a sudden, there were 7 kids there, and all of a sudden, all the other kids started sharing. They say, look, Mrs. Goose, I'm sharing. And then I had this little cute kid, Yona, who's my daughter's best friend. He came up to me, he said, he's 4 and a half. He said, Mrs. Gersht, there's no more mitzvahs for me to do. And he was so sad. Why? Again, all of a sudden they comprehended of I get her attention and a chocolate chip when I do good, right? So if you want your boyfriend to call you, because your boyfriend doesn't call you because he's always learning and he's always working, instead of saying, dude, make time for me, when he does, catch him and blow it up. Blow it up. Not in an immature way, but just, and mean it. Like, I really do appreciate, we started off by saying, be sympathetic to a person. If he's not calling you, there's a reason he's not calling. Either he doesn't like you, then there's real issues to deal with, or else he's busy. There's a reason why people are doing something, right? And if he's busy, then be like, thank you so, just a little tip, a little note at the end, like, by the way, I really appreciate the phone call, right? I really appreciate that. And you'll notice, and I want to hear examples from you. Have you noticed in your life, when people have complimented you, that you've lived up to it? Who can give me an example? Yeah, Rachel.
You sang me the mitzvah song.
I sang you the mitzvah song. No, I don't.
It was because I just shared something with someone else, and then you sang me the mitzvah song, and I felt really nice, and then I kept sharing the rest of the day.
Really? That's so funny. I really do like what I teach. That's so funny. Okay, give me another example.
So sometimes when I call my grandma, she really enjoys when I call her. I know that, but sometimes at the end she's like, I really enjoyed talking to you, Sam. I feel like I get what you're talking about, and it brings me back to when I was 22 again, or when I'm younger, and it makes me happy that I can still relate. And then after that I hang up and I'm like, I gotta call him.
Right. All of a sudden you feel this like, oh, like you're happy, made her happy. I was like, I have to call her. Right? You feel. Give me more examples.
But you want to, and it makes you want to.
Yeah, it makes you want to. Exactly, you want to live up to the reputation. Give me another example.
Like when you give tzedakah or when you give to people, like you get the best feeling. You just want to give more, like all day.
That's nice. That's a nice way. Give tzedakah. I'll give you a tip. You can go up to homeless people in Jerusalem. They actually appreciate it. You can give them like 50 shekels or 100 shekels. First, make sure they give you the money. I've had instances where they haven't returned it back. And you say, do you want to exchange it for me? Because they have tons of coins. And what you can do is you can just have like a little, mini purse, a little hand thing of tzedakah, literally a guro, and you can give to each person. At the end of the day, you spent 2 shekels, and you can get all of that change by giving them 50 shekels, and they give you back like this much change. If you ever want to do that. You can ask them to exchange. If you have a 50 shekel bill, if you want to carry change on you to give to homeless people, so you can literally take 20 shekels, they'll give you like 100 coins for 20 shekels. They'll give you 20 shekels and like a guro, because they have so much change on them.
You ask homeless people for change.
Yeah, I asked homeless, yeah.
And then you like give them one of them.
I'll give them, I'll give them 20 shekels so you can keep like 5 of it, but can you give me 15 shekels and like a guro? And they're happy to get rid of their change. And then you have a bunch of change to give out. Okay, another example is if you just show up on time and you just say to someone like, by the way, I really appreciate you always show up on time. It's nice because most people keep me waiting. It's really nice. Again, it's just like, oh shoot, she expects me to be on time, right? Or if someone says, you always look put together, you just feel like you want to look put together, right? That's praising improvements. Don't criticize. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you're on this end of it, you're avoiding getting criticism, that's one thing. But what if you're on the receiving end?
Of criticism?
Yeah. What if, for example, your boyfriend is critical? Is there a way to convey this to the other person, to behave this way?
Well, we're going to speak about when people criticize, but I'll give you a little taste of it now, which is, how did I phrase it on this? If you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Mm-hmm. First of all, in general, rule with human behavior is we mimic other people. So people, when you are a role model, people just they'll pick up on it. They'll tend to get it. In relationships, I'm just a big fan of open communication in general. So if someone's open to it, the 5 love languages, right? No? So anyways, you should know it. It's great. We should speak about it at some point, or it's just great to know there are 5 love languages. We all need all 5 of them, but we all have one main love language that we need. The 5 are physical touch, presence, quality time, words of affirmation, and acts of service. I need you to help me with the dishes. I want you to give me presents. I want you to tell me that you love me. I want you to hold my hand, and I want you to give me your time, right? But we all have one main one. So I'm a big fan of just couples sitting down together and being like, so which is your main one? Let's just cut to the chase instead of me guessing, right? So I believe in just open communication of I heard this great thing in just relationships. I think it's beneficial. But another Another great, yeah.
Sorry, what was the part again?
Gifts. Yeah. Was that it? Gifts, acts of service, meaning like helping. Quality time, giving me your time. Words of affirmation, which is words, letters, and what was the other one? And physical touch. And physical touch.
It's a book, right?
It's a book, yeah. It's a book. So, but when people criticize us, we're going to get to, I don't want to say the whole thing now, but a little bit of it is, when people criticize us, a way to end it, just stop it, right? Stop the criticism, is just to say you're sorry right away. A funny story that happened with me and a cop. It's actually happened a few times. I have two that I remember, but I know this has happened to me throughout my life. Which is, and I meant it genuinely because I was wrong, but I was driving. I think I told you this story before. I was driving in the car and I was speaking to my friend on the phone, and there's like this like motorcycle coming really close to me. So he motions to me, and I very graciously back, like motion to him, like, no, it's okay, you can go first. So he motions to me again, and I'm like, no, like, go ahead. Then it's a cop. He's pulling me over. He's not like motioning to me to go ahead of him, right? So I'm like, oh, Rivka, I gotta go ahead. I hang up the phone, and he says to me, he's like, what are you doing? What are you? Israelis are very makpid on not speaking on the phone, which they're right. I was wrong. And I had this like moment, should I just like lie to him and say like my headphone just broke, like what do I do? And I'm like, the only thing I kept saying was, Atat tzodek, like, which means you're right. I'm like, you're right, you're 100% right. I was like, I should have bought a headset. I didn't buy a headset. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. And he's just like, he didn't know what to do with himself. He's like, don't do that again. And like he drove away. Happened to me another time where I saw him writing a ticket. I parked illegally. I didn't know. I thought you were allowed to park there. And he's writing my ticket, and he's about to put on my windshield. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, why did you park here? I'm like, why aren't I allowed to? And usually we get into these back and forth of like, why can't I? I'm like, I didn't know. I'm really sorry. I didn't know. Like, where's the sign? And we started like schmoozing. And he's like, okay. Then he ripped up the ticket. He's like, don't do that again. So when people criticize us, the moment we say, I'm sorry, like how bad is that for our ego to say, I'm sorry, you're right, I'm late. So they say, I'm late because, the moment there's a because, now you took away the sorry. It's like, I'm sorry, you're right. You're totally right. We'll get there. Okay, I want to move on to the next one, which is, any questions on praising improvements? Pretty basic, but super helpful in life.